Hi, I'm so excited to be here with Father Damian. This is your second visit to This Is the Day, but in real life this time,
Right.
not Skype, so
Right.
this is great. Thank you. And we're here to talk about your new book. I love the title, but especially love the subtitle. So the title of the book is The Strangeness of Truth, but the subtitle that I really like, it's Vibrant Faith in a Dark World. So tell us about that.
Okay, well, The Strangeness of Truth comes from a Flannery O'Connor line. Big fan of Flannery O'Connor.
Me too.
The Vibrant Faith in a Dark World, it just so happens that that title speaks to where we are in the church today. And it was actually the sisters, the Pauline Books and Media, who thought that that would be a good subtitle for the book, and I thought it was great too. And I love how the elements on the cover of the book actually speak to that. So you have this black darkness, but then our Christ's face and Mary's face and the searcher in between there. So hopefully Catholicism does what it's supposed to do against the backdrop of a fallen world and a sinful world.
Sure, it is beautiful. So tell us a little bit about then this cover art and the artist.
Okay. The artist, the graphic designer, is a guy named Ryan McQuaid. He works for Life Teen. He read my whole manuscript, had a good idea of what he wanted to do, talked to the publishing house, and put this together. And it's
Wow.
supposed to look like a beat-up 80s sci-fi paperback.
Sure.
Which is funny because when I did a couple readings, people said, how'd you get you really beat up your book. But it's the distress look. It's supposed to look like that. And then it was at a bookstore recently, and I had a friend go in and heard someone say, I don't want a used copy, I want a new copy. But it has a seasoned look to it.
It does.
In the same way that Catholicism is seasoned for 2,000 years, and it makes it through. And granted, we've got problems in our church, and
Sure.
I mean, Jesus chose 12. One denied him, one betrayed him, and the other ones couldn't stay awake during his
Right.
his agony. But the Holy Spirit's been with the church, and that's the strangeness of truth, that it's perennial. It keeps coming up, and it keeps bringing us through. So what I'm trying to accomplish in the book is to show that strangeness of truth, how it's made itself manifest in my life, and then hopefully my reader can say, gosh, I can see this playing out in my life too. That's my hope.
Yeah, that's great. And the distressed look, I picked up on that too. I'm kind of a overhandler of books, and I thought, oh, what did I do to this already? So yeah, that's great. Very thoughtful, very very beautiful artwork, and great tie-ins. And I love Flannery O'Connor myself, so that's fabulous. So we're going to move from the cover to the introduction. So your bishop did a beautiful introduction, and he talked about your desire to be a rock star that you gave up. And I thought to myself, how does a Cleveland guy give up? You know, you're home to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Right,
so
right.
tell us about that.
So I wrote a book in 5th grade. That was my first book. And it was called A Ticket to Adventure. Bruce Springsteen had been captured by the Libyan army, and we went to rescue him. In the back part of that book, Sister Elizabeth not only made us write a book, but about the author section. And it was there that I said, when I grow up, I want to be a rock star or a zookeeper.
Oh, wow.
So that's what I thought I would be when I was growing up.
Yeah.
In college, in high school, that changed a little bit. But yeah, I went to the seminary, and I wound up obviously becoming a priest. But I still love secular music.
Yeah.
I've been to over 400 shows live. I'm
Whoa.
a big Springsteen fan. I've written a lot about him.
Yeah.
I've reviewed albums for Word on Fire for Bishop Barron.
Yeah.
So one of my big missions is to try to show how the faith speaks to the culture. Sometimes raising up truths that it finds in it, and other times saying this isn't so right, or this is problematic. And that's Catholicism's smart, and that's what I'm trying to show in this book, how it plays out in ordinary living.
Good. That's great. And I think we do. We inform the culture, and the culture, you know, we have to keep our eye on that and understand it, how that forms us as human beings,
Right.
for sure. Then I'm going to move into another part of the book. So the last time that you were here, the way I kind of followed you was we were following each other on social media, and you were talking about your dad. And right before we had you on This Is Day, he passed away.
That's right.
And in the book, you include the homily.
Right.
So tell us a little bit about that, and we'll take it from there.
Sure. So my dad dropped out of high school when he was 17 to go fight in World War II. He was in the USS. He was in the U.S. Navy on USS and DD 536 on a destroyer. He was in 11 battles in the South Pacific. Wound up marrying my mom when he was 46. She was 32. A lot of people thought my mom would outlive him. That didn't happen. She died a year before I was ordained. 4 battles with cancer. I read about that in there.
Yes.
And my dad was a great, devout Catholic, wonderful man, funny, simple. And after the manuscript was together, a couple of my readers of the manuscript, seminarians, said, Father, you should include that homily because what you're trying to do in that book is not tell about Catholicism, but show what it looks like.
Yeah.
And they thought that the homily did that well, so I asked the sisters if I could include that as an appendices, and they said, as an appendix, part of the appendices, there's 3, and they said, yeah, that would be good. So that's why it's in there.
Good. Well, what a fitting way to close with the Daughters of St. Paul, because they're just tremendous community. So folks can get the book at Pauline Media, and where else?
Pauline Books and Media. You can get it on Amazon, and you should go to your local bookstore and demand that they stock it because it's good. It also, I should say this, it's a really cool cover. You could read it on a bus, a train, a metro, and people will think you're hipster, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, thanks so much. So be a hipster and get a copy of the book. Thanks so much for being with us.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.